Going right, it was like 92 degrees, and then humid on top of that. I I was sweating when I got out of the car. I was like, well, this is ridiculous. I'm not even gonna. It's not even worth it.
I believe it. I mean, every time it's hot and sticky, I say sticky, sticky goo, and nobody gets it. You will.
Sticky, sticky, what?
Sticky, sticky goo.
Sticky, sticky goo.
Yeah. Okay, you don't get it. Jar Jar when he steps in shit.
Oh, jeez. Well, you didn't do it in the accent.
Oh, sticky, sticky goo.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
You know what? We've reviewed all three now, right? This trilogy has been around as long as we've been around. We're talking Deadpool and Wolverine. Finally, Eric, how the hell are you doing?
Well, we're going to keep on talking about it because they're probably going to keep on making these.
Oh.
Deadpool is arguably the highest grossing franchise in the MCU right now, right?
I mean, he didn't beat out Infinity War and Endgame, right? I mean, no.
Independent franchise.
In the MCU?
I'm sorry, not independent like made, but
I don't know, yeah.
But single person, single hero, that franchise. I would consider, you're right, because Avengers is a group, and that's also a culmination of like what 20-something films that have come to. These are on its own. These are standalones.
Right. These are standalones, and I'm going to tell you, I'm so glad I went back to the movie theater to watch it again, because if we would have reviewed this movie the first night I watched it, this probably would be a different review.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I left angry. I was complaining the whole way home that this is Halloween Ends territory, Songbird territory for me. I was saying, this is a bag of kernels, and I'm going to piss off Eric, and I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I was that angry with the movie. But I went back. I was like, okay, all right. Let's see if my opinions change. But I left the theater the first time angry.
Well, I will say that this movie is a giant metaphor. From front to back, it is a giant metaphor. This is the first Deadpool movie in MCU. This first Deadpool movie that is Marvel Disney distribution. The other two were 20th Century Fox.
Right.
And a lot of this movie is showing that is a pretty much saying F you Fox and thank you Disney. We're gonna keep on working till we're 90.
Yeah. Eric, I don't know. I don't. Okay, let's talk more about it. So I was excited. I was excited for this movie. I never thought the movie was going to happen. Right? It's been how many years since Deadpool 2? Has it been 6? The first one came. This
first one was 16. The second one was 18.
So it's been 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yeah, it's been 6 years. So I never thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen because of how much money it made, but at the same part, I didn't think it was going to happen because it's Fox. Sony and Fox, with these properties, they suck with them. I think everyone knows that they suck with them, and I think they know that they suck with them, but they're going to hold on to them until they can get that money. And listen, Sony is doing their part where they have struck a deal. And this is behind the scenes, everyone, and you can look this up. But Sony has struck that deal with Marvel that says, hey, listen, we own Spider-Man, and we will let you use Spider-Man for certain properties, but we get a cut, and you have to pay us. There's obviously some sort of money contract that's there. Disney just straight up bought Fox, so they acquired that pretty easily, right? And the whole X-Men franchise and everything that 20th Century Fox was doing. But I think that's funny, and I was watching some YouTube videos about how in all of the Easter eggs, they did a lot of Spider-Man stuff, but they never showed Tom Holland's face because that would be considered as an appearance in one of their slated slots that they have. They don't want to burn it, obviously, on just a quick cameo. They want to save Tom for the big stuff.
Yeah, Spider-Man 4.
Or the Avengers movies.
Or Sony's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4, which I guess is greenlit.
Oh boy, yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. They explain it a bit in this movie about how because this movie takes place in multiverse, was it 10005?
And 616, yeah.
Well, it showed 616,
Yeah.
but then it because that's the sacred timeline, which is considered Marvel's timeline. But in this movie, primarily is Deadpool going into 1005 or yeah 1000, whatever how you want to call it.
1005.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm taking that as basically that is the Fox multiverse. That is the X-Men universe.
Right. Because there's a lot of X-Men references in the other two movies, right? So
Well, there's Wolverine in there. There's a lot of X-Men in this.
right. I was a big Deadpool fan. That first movie, that was one of our earliest reviews, Eric, and I loved that movie a lot. I had that very famous story of I knew Deadpool from comics and Gina had no idea, and I took her to the movie. Remember that story?
Yeah, yes.
And we went to the theater and she didn't want to go and we couldn't find a seat. She was just blown away that it was packed. Like couldn't believe it. And she ended up loving the movie. So when the sequel came out, she was dragging me to it. Let's go, let's go. But then as soon as Vanessa gets killed in the beginning, she folds her arms and she's uninterested. What made the first Deadpool movie so good, my opinion, now years later, was that love story. That was the glue that held it together. Because Ryan Reynolds is crazy. Ryan Reynolds is me. The puns, the references, the pop culture stuff. I mean, that's the show.
Yeah,
Obvious.
I think it's just because it's a parody of a superhero movie. You're coming to a part where Marvel and superhero movies are getting to that point of fatigue, and this is able to break fourth wall. Listen, every hardcore geek was looking to be like, "Oh, there's going to be a Deadpool movie, and Ryan Reynolds himself is going to play it. Like, this is going to be perfect casting."
Right.
And they drag all their girlfriends to it, just like you said with Gina. And it turns out like this is in this movie especially, Deadpool and Wolverine. It steadily becomes less of a superhero movie and more of a comedy.
Right. 100%. Yeah, it definitely has lost its way.
I beg to I argue I'd say because of Deadpool himself that it's found its way. There's really only a few characters in the whole comic book realm that are able to break the fourth wall and be aware of who they are. Deadpool being one. And there's plenty of parts in comics where he is self-aware that he is a comic book character. In fact, I think there's one where he's depressed and goes insane because of it, because he knows that his death and injuries are just there for entertainment. I think She-Hulk is the other one, and I'm trying to think of the other one, but I can't. But in the main that we know right now, She-Hulk and Deadpool are the ones that break the fourth wall.
Okay, you know what? Since you're saying that, I can kind of see where this episode is going. But before I get into that, I was excited, Eric. Deadpool, Wolverine. I thought, correct me if I'm wrong with pop culture, that Hugh Jackman said that he was never playing Wolverine again. Something about skin cancer. Logan was it. He was done. And we reviewed Logan, and I loved Logan. That movie was amazing.
Everyone loved
X-23.
Logan.
It was amazing. I'm not one to tear up in movie theaters, but there was a tear down my eye when the camera panned away with the X with the two sticks crossing on his grave, right? I was like, oh, that's the end of my childhood right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's the end of my early 2000s childhood. It's done, right? So he comes back. Ryan Reynolds pulls up to every single person's house with a dump truck full of money and says, you're not going to say no. All of you are going to do this movie.
From what I understand, Ryan Reynolds pitched the idea to Marvel, to Kevin Feige, and Hugh was already on board. And again, the big reason why I think this was able to work is because it's different distributors. It's no longer Fox. This is Marvel now. This is Marvel Disney. I think I don't know if the paycheck was I'm sure it was,
Oh yeah.
but I think it was just a different home. And from what I understand, 20th Century Fox again is just not really they made it their own. They really steered away from a lot of the source materials, and they're just like, we're going to do our own thing. And the regiment they had Hugh work on was ridiculous. So I know that Hugh hated having to constantly do that workout and dehydrate to show off that muscle and really be in peak performance. Whereas here, it's just like, no, throw on a suit.
Yeah, throw on the classic, right? The trailers came out. You, me, probably you, I don't know, but every geek boy in the world was the blue and yellows. He's bringing it. And then the trailer shows he also puts on the mask too, right? The classic Wolverine
Oh,
mask.
dude, I
We're
geeked
here.
out when I saw that
Yeah,
Max. That was like, yes.
we're here, right? This is something that we've been wanting for 24 years.
Yeah. It's a
And I
long
say that
time
because
coming.
the first X-Men movie came out in 2000. Like, this is it, right? Like, this is what we wanted.
Oh, absolutely. Deadpool wanted it too.
So why do I hate this movie then?
I think it's because it's just more silly than super, maybe.
No,
Is it the multiverse thing?
multiverse is a big one. It's not the main one. I think what I liked about the first Deadpool movie is that it seemed uh, more controlled. It seemed more in its own realm, and it was on a smaller scale, and it was a simple story. And sometimes that's better, right? It's better to not see the monster than to see the monster sometimes.
Uh huh.
And the second one, I'm not a fan of, and I don't think a lot of people were fans of it. It made box office, but it wasn't as good as the first one. Right? There's some good moments in the
It's some
sequel.
cameos. I liked Cable in it, but from what I understand, and they make fun of it in this movie that Josh Brolin didn't test well as Cable, and so they didn't bring him back for this. But this is the one where he gets X Force together, right? And you get the cameo from Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, we giggled about that one forever. We had a giggle with the guy I loved, Peter Sugar Bear.
Do you feel like this movie is more like a Wolverine movie and Deadpool just kind of jumps in and interrupts it?
I don't think this movie's any. I'm going to tell you
Well, what's your deal then?
again.
Because I'd like this movie.
I don't, so that's why I'm saying like I left the theater the first time mad. I went back and watched it again to see. I have a lot of complaints with this movie. Let's just start. I
Let's
don't want
talk
to go
about
scene
it.
by scene. Let's talk about it. So I really enjoyed his core crux of characters, right? So Deadpool had his people that he never killed, that he generally liked, that were always there. And they had more than just one line. We know about TJ Miller. I ain't going to talk about that. But his blind roommate, she has a scene in this. Vanessa, which was the big deal in the first movie, and kind of the big deal in the second movie, they break up and we don't know why or how. There's a line dropped that says that, oh, he's Deadpool and I'm tired of his shtick. But that's crap compared to the last two movies that we've had. Sugar Bear is fun, but it's just fun because he calls him Sugar Bear and he's Peter, right? The taxi driver guy, he has a line. Like, why have these people in this movie if you're not going to do anything with them?
Because the
Because
movie's called
these,
Deadpool and Wolverine.
but those characters defined who he was. Those characters were a part of him.
Yeah, in,
Those,
in
you
those
know,
movies, and in a different universe. This is a different movie in a different universe. I understand what you mean.
he's in his universe, right? Because
No.
so I'll break it down. So movie starts the bye thing, but that we go back in time. But the movie
So
is
hold on. At the end of Deadpool 2,
right.
he has Cable's time traveling watch, and he's able to go in jump in different times in different universes or whatever, and do his old shtick. Kills Ryan Reynolds for doing Green Lantern, kills the old Deadpool in X-Men Origins. It does his all funny kind of thing. And so at first, And by the way, this takes place before the Endgame, before Infinity War. This takes
This takes
place.
for the blip, right?
Yeah, this takes place before the blip. I think this takes place during Civil War. So when he goes to 616, he's trying to join the Avengers at an interesting time. But then um, what makes him go to? I think just out of retiring, he goes to the other universe, right? Just to kind
That's
of.
his universe. That's what the movie tells me.
Oh yeah, that's
Universe
right, because he's
1000.
Fox. That's right.
Right. Universe 1005 is his universe. So this movie is he's in universe 1005. He brings all of his friends that were going to die, brings them back, save Vanessa from dying, right?
Right.
Then he goes to 616, talks to Happy,
Happy.
and Happy's just like, "Yeah, bud, you're like a B player. This ain't happening." That kind of shtick, right? You are not going to be an Avenger. You're not going to be in 616. He doesn't say these words, but paraphrasing. And then it just cuts to 6 years later, and now he's a used car salesman with Peter, and he's broken up with Vanessa, and his friends are all nothing but one-liners. He's not Deadpool anymore. Are you serious? For 6 years, there hasn't been another bad guy, another Francis, for him to fight. Like there's a 6 year gap.
Well, yeah, he's
He,
retired. He's just going. And keep in mind too, as we know from, I know, because there's all these shows that have happened as well too. So in this world, there are a bunch of other supers running around here that are under the radar, and we now have these different tiers. I think we've already described this before. You have like a street level hero, you have like a continental hero, you have a global hero, you have a universal space hero, and then you have like supernatural heroes, cosmic heroes. It's all these different levels to based on your power, right? So some of these people aren't even on the planet; they're off doing their own thing, and other
but
people
those,
are fleeing the Cap's on the run right now, right?
but that's in 616. That's not his universe.
And this one, there's mutants, right? So there's not even Avengers in this world. This is all mutants.
Yeah, it's all mutants in this, and I just don't like what they're doing with the characters. I'm not saying that the taxi driver guy was. Oh my god, you give him a crap line. No, I'm not saying that. It's just he was a character. You know what I mean? And they just kind of just push him aside. Vanessa was the big crux of the last two movies, and they just push her aside. It's kind of like how people felt when they killed Hickson New. You know what I mean?
So
It's
is
like, what
that
are you
really what
doing?
you wanted? You wanted to see more like Colossus, more Negasonic Teenage Warhead, more Yukio. You wanted to see all of them. You wanted a Deadpool 2.
I wanted his universe, his people, his villains. I wanted a self-contained story. I didn't like what they did with Deadpool 2. I like the first one a
But
lot.
that's why this is a metaphor. This whole movie is a metaphor that they're killing
Right.
Fox and they're entering Marvel.
Right. What I don't know if I enjoyed this meal. I'm picking at it right now. It doesn't
You
look that
damn
good on the
right you
plate.
are. Yeah.
I'm picking it. I don't like it. I especially don't like how we get the TVA in this. I hate the TVA. It needs to stop. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool in this movie even said himself that the multiverse stuff is stupid. It gets a little crazy.
Sure.
It doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. You're gonna. It sucks for you, man, because
Yeah, it's such stuff.
we're
I
gonna get
don't like
more
it.
of it. This is how Doom is gonna take into place, and this is what Secret Wars is all about too. So, yeah,
I don't
I
like
feel
it.
bad for you here, man.
So he gets captured by the TVA, and then what? He's supposed to go.
He's been chosen.
He's been chosen by Paradox, and that's when he goes to Logan universe. Like again, he goes back to his world to dig up Logan, thinking that Logan was going to be alive somehow. Like I don't get that either, right? Like he goes to dig up Logan, and he says he's a skeleton. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. It's like, what would he expect him to not be?
Well, I think he was quick on that jump, by the way, too, because Mr. Paradox didn't really finish what he was tasking him to do. He just kind of went out to go do it. And yeah, to do something in the wider multiverse. But anyway, he says that Wade's timeline is vanishing, kind of like basically by Fox, just
Right.
in that part, and um, yeah, because of the death of the anchor being, which is Logan.
The one that was holding Fox together, if you will.
Yeah, he was their flagship.
Right. Of course. I'm obvious. This stuff is not clever. It's hitting me in the face. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
following it.
I think it's supposed to be very much
Yeah.
so. And at the same part, he's gone rogue. Mr. Paradox has, and he has a device called the Time Ripper, an unsanctioned Time Ripper, by the way, and is going to kill or prune this branch here.
Because why?
Because he wants to be the TVA. So in the Loki series, in Loki season 1, you had basically the old way of doing it, which was them pruning different timelines because there was the sacred timeline, and
Right.
the person controlling it all was Kang, was the he who remains, and he was making sure that his reigned supreme, and so they would prune all the ones, and big story on that one. At the end of Loki season 2, they defeat that, and Loki becomes the new timekeeper. He becomes the new guardian of the time. And so instead of there being a sacred timeline that is kind of tried and true and have all these different separate branches that come off with different variants, it's like a tree. It's like a tree of life. And okay, I can see you shaking your head, and
It's
yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to keep track of, and we're
Not to
pretty
offend
deep
you.
in.
I'm not trying to offend you. It's just it's frustrating. That's all.
No, I get it. I'm not trying to defend it completely because I know that's a lot to keep up for. I just happen to be lucky enough or have the time to watch a lot of this.
Fair enough. I just but for a person like me who really liked the first movie, going to this one, I'm just like, okay, the characters that I loved, his little side characters, are on the movie, and now he's digging up a dead Logan, and he's trying to find a replacement Logan so his universe can have an anchor beam. But then Mission Paradox was like, you cannot fix an anchor beam.
Well, his thing was Mr. Paradox was to take Deadpool out of his timeline, which is Earth 10005, by the way, 10,005.
Right. And
And
put him in
and they
616.
put him in the sacred timeline because he's supposed to be destined for future events.
Why can't he just take his friends with him?
Right. That's why that's kind of what Deadpool's asking. And
Right.
Mr. Paradox says because you were the one that was chosen. Deadpool doesn't like that, breaks his nose, steals his temp pad, and then goes multiverse hopping.
Right. Where we get all the crazy Logans from all different comics, right? So there's some that I know, some that I don't, but a lot of these are covers, right? Where the Hulk is in Wolverine's claws, like that's a big comic
Big
cover.
one.
Wolverine Crucified, I guess, is a big cover that I don't know about. I don't get the dwarf Wolverine. Is that supposed to be something? I'm assuming it is.
It's comic accurate because Logan is not as tall as Hugh Jackman. He's a short guy.
Wait. I didn't know this. Are you telling me that little Logan in this movie is what throughout the comics that he's supposed to be that size?
But in the original, not in the later comics or in the silver or the golden years. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll Google check this. I'm quite sure that he was supposed to be a shorter guy.
And I didn't know that Henry Cavill was the bike Logan. It didn't even look like him.
Oh yeah, the the Cavalrine.
Yeah, the Cal, which I read on Reddit that I guess fans wanted, if they were going to recast Wolverine, they wanted him.
So a lot of this movie was also bringing up ideas that never happened or miscasts or basically axed projects. And one of them was Henry Cavill as Wolverine. The other one was Channing Tatum as Gambit, which I thought was fantastic. Um, so yeah, there's a few others in there as well too. Um, but I'm happy we got to see a lot of these cameos.
Yeah, we
I
go
thought
there
Wesley
and
Snipes and Ryan Reynolds hated each other.
they do. Well, no, they don't anymore, but they did. They were on stage at the premiere and they hugged each other, so they're okay now publicly. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
Wesley
I thought it was more
was
that Wesley Snipes was he was method actor. He was in Blade character, while Ryan Reynolds was just playing in Ryan Reynolds. And yes, Wolverine's comic book height is 5'3".
interesting. No, I didn't think we were going to talk about those big spoilers so quick, but yeah, since we're bringing it up, I think Wesley Snipes, honestly, not to sound like a jerk, Wesley Snipes said yes no matter what because he wanted a paycheck. He has to pay the IRS quite a bit of money. So he pushed his personal feelings aside. But then, we get Ryan Reynolds getting the quote unquote worst Wolverine. And we find out in the middle of the movie that him being the worst Wolverine is he was drunk at a bar when all the X-Men got killed by good and bad humans. So then he goes on a killing rampage. That's what makes him bad. I don't know. That sounds like something that anybody would kind of do in this situation. But maybe the crucified Logan with the Valley of Skulls maybe is the worst Wolverine. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know, but
You never know.
yeah. Well, again, there's different Wolverines everywhere. I know that Wolverine does have like a berserker mode, and the animal part takes over sometimes, and he goes on rampages, and I think he likes that. So that maybe what happened after this. But I also thought he couldn't get drunk because of his healing.
Could be, but I enjoyed it, right? Because when they both get pruned and they go to the void, we see Wolverine do something that we've never seen. He's crawling on all fours like an animal going to attack Deadpool.
That was
Like
cool.
I thought that was very cool. The fight was fun, but then later, as the fight continues, I'm just like, well, they both know that they're not going to literally kill each other. So what's the point? Just so one person says, "I quit, time out."
Letting off steam,
Like,
I guess.
I guess. I mean, aren't they one of this? They're not though, right? Because Wolverine can constantly reheal, but Deadpool has cancerous cells that are always killing him. So I guess it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, no, that's their regeneration is a bit different. You're right. Yeah. Wolverine's mutant power is that his dead cells are replaced with new cells and he can regenerate, whereas Deadpool, his dead cells just constantly keep on going with more and more dead cells, so he's like he's in a forever state of dying.
Right. Hence the name Deadpool, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of an odd thing, but which is why we got to see Skullpool later on in this, where it's just a floating head.
Right. There's a lot of. Yeah. Then we get something that I was shocked. So my wife's in the theater with me, and Chris Evans shows up. She's like, "Oh, Captain America's in this," and I did spoil myself on this part because I knew he wasn't. And I was like, "No, he ain't Captain America." And wife's like, she's in the theater. She's like, "Well, who is she?" Talking under her breath, And I was like, "You know who he is." And she goes, "Who is he?" And then once Ryan Reynolds says, "He's going to say it, he's going to say it," he goes, "Flame on." I was like, that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. This chunk is pretty funny. The fight, them paying reference to Mad Max, because they're competing with Mad Max in the box office at this point, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, and then also Chris Evans.
Well, I don't think the Mad Max kind of bombed, so
Nobody thought that, though. The last movie was so successful. But I can tell you where I turn on the movie. So I don't like the movie right off the bat at the beginning. I like this little chunk here, but then when I turn is when we meet the twin of Professor Xavier, Nova, whatever her name is, Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra Nova.
And she somehow is the ruler of the void. But I thought the whole point of the void from we got from the Loki series is that nobody survives the void. Galactus or whatever eats everybody. That's the whole point. Goliath eats everybody.
Goliath.
game night, date night. Sure. It's just like,
Yeah.
why? What's going on?
Well, she struck
I
a
don't
deal
understand.
with the TVA, and listen, there's a lot of things to unpack here. One thing, and I'm fast forwarding, is that she has the Doctor Strange ring that can make a portal outside the void. It's like, well, wait a minute, I didn't know that those things were able to jump multiverses here. That's a pretty
Right.
big that's a
That's a
pretty
big
big
deal.
thing. Yeah. So or maybe if it's uh not to jump multiverse, maybe it's dimensions because it can go into different dimensions. So maybe the void is something where it can go. People can go inside the void. Who knows? There's a lot of unanswered questions. Hopefully that we'll get to that because I thought we've only seen the way to multiverse jump is through what's that one America in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness where they did Scarlet Witch doing the dream weaving or whatever that was, and then the one mutant that's able to punch through the multiverse.
Right.
So I thought that was the only way that we could do it. But if they're going to introduce new ways to do it, then we'll see how it goes. But then you have the whole incursion thing that they talked about, and how that's going to work, and is the TVA involved there? So yeah, it does get confusing, and there's a lot of plot holes that seem to be opening up more and more. But at the same part, we're just going to accept, right, that one universe is going to get pruned and we're all just going to go into the sacred timeline. Who knows?
Why do you like it at this point? Before we get into the cameos, why are you liking it? And my arms are folded. Is it because you care about the Fox universe more than me? Is it because this is a better movie than what I think it
I've
is?
removed story from this movie a long time ago. My expectations for the story for Deadpool, I really put them to like second or third priority. When I see a Deadpool movie now, I'm in it for the jokes. I'm in it for the Easter
Okay.
eggs. I don't care about anything else just because this is, and again, this is the first Marvel Deadpool. So there's going to be a lot of it, and there was a lot of it. And I think it's great the way that Deadpool first calls Wolverine Hugh. I think it's great that he made many references to Blake Lively. I think it's great that he's talked to the camera a few times and referenced his own movies, even with the other the mob of Deadpools and that one nice Deadpool that couldn't regenerate. He's like,
Yeah,
I can break fourth wall too, and he turns to the camera and says, "The proposal."
yeah.
It, I it's enjoyed that, but the story to me, because of how deep they are into this whole multiverse TVA thing, I'll Google that later. I feel like that wasn't um like I've just totally bought into to how that works now and just figure, okay, well that's just a write off. Multiverse this. What multiverse are we in? Got it. Okay. That's all the thing that I care about. I'll ask questions later.
I guess for me, overall, when I'm at to this point in the movie, and I feel like I'm repeating, but I really did enjoy that first Deadpool movie and what they introduced. And to where he is now, to be a joke upon a joke of himself and having all these different references, he's no longer Simpsons. He's now Family Guy. You know what
Sure.
I mean? And
Sure.
it's just, and I'm not a Family Guy fan. So that's where I guess I'm kind of just getting my
Really?
arms crossed. Yeah, I mean,
Not
like,
even early Family Guy?
so I like some of the classic episodes. I like, like the big stuff, if you will, right? Like Wish Upon a Weinstein, and
Okay, that's a good one. The
you know,
band
you know,
episode, yeah.
I liked, when Brian and Stewie are locked in a bank vault, all
Some
that
of the
stuff.
newer
Like,
ones, yeah.
yeah, But I just, if I had to choose between Simpsons or Family Guy, who's going to die? I mean, Family Guy's going to die.
Sure, yeah.
And the reason I bring up the reference is because Simpsons does references, so I put Deadpool in that category. But now it's such a slapstick of what it was that I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not having fun. They pretty much do cutaways of nonsense at this point.
Do you think these jokes are funny? Like, are you laughing at this movie?
There are jokes that I'm like. I mean, I definitely liked the proposal one. Didn't he call Van Wybeck on Panweiler or whatever, something like that? It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Uh, pop culture reference. I know that Dogpool is Britain's like ugliest dog, and I knew that from pop culture, so that was fun to see him in it. I do like where we get the cameos because I get it, right? This movie is all about Land of Misfit Toys.
Okay.
I just didn't want to see Deadpool go to this story. You know what I mean? I just wasn't.
Well, what would you want then?
I don't
Because
know. I'm probably back to the basics. How about this? Like, for some reason I thought of Michael Keaton's Batman when I was watching the movie, right?
okay.
Because you and I were younger when those movies came out, right? But if you go and you watch, like I kind of put myself back to that time frame. If I watched the original Batman from '89 and Batman Returns, and all of a sudden I turn around and I get Batman Forever, I'd be like, this is a total different kind of world. This is a weird vibe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's what Deadpool 3 is for me. It's Batman Forever. It's oh, this is kind of the same thing, but there's a lot of neon and stuff.
Okay.
Like it's weird. It's not what I thought the third movie would be.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Let me try to help you out here then. So instead of this giant F you to Fox and this giant welcome to MCU, this is what we're gonna do now, and in a lot of their um, kind of story about that, which seems to be your issue, that the main story is them leaving Fox to go to MCU. Would you rather that Deadpool just teamed up with Wolverine and they're doing the good old fashioned beat 'em up, kick some butt, and then go defeat the big bad into a grand third act bloody battle?
No, I think I would have rather have Deadpool and Wolverine think that each other is the big bad, and they're just fighting each other throughout the whole movie until the end. I don't know what kind of movie I wanted. I guess that's the simplistic way we get it. But the cameos are nice, right? Because they fight in the car, the Honda Odyssey. That was funny. To where out of nowhere, I don't know if she was in this, but Jennifer Garner's reprising Elektra. That was funny.
That was great.
That was amazing. And then Wesley Snipes coming out in Blade was funny. And I don't know. I enjoy it. I don't know if you do, but Channing Tatum as Gambit, I know the whole backstory behind that. So it's like, that's kind of fun that he's in this.
Oh, I just love the jokes. Yeah, first off, I thought it was great. I'd like to see him in action. I thought that was fantastic. Big cheer for me. I also enjoyed the jokes where he's just like, I don't understand a word you're saying. Who's your dialect coach? What?
Yeah, no, because he's had the New Orleans got an accent, and
He's
jambalaya.
Cajun. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to talk about jumbo shrimp.
Was that your Cajun? Is that
I don't know. That was kind of like Boomhauer in a way. Like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I am wearing a Hawaiian shirt. But the one that pisses me off that should not be in this movie that made me really fold my arms was X-23. She should not have been in this movie at all. I really hated that she was in this movie.
Yeah, I don't understand why she was in this movie either. From her timeline, I don't know, like because to be in the void, you're getting pruned. So I'm assuming that the TVA had pruned her, knowing that she would be a threat to fight back of them pruning her timeline. But I'm assuming. So again, why any of these characters are in
Well,
the void
besides
to begin
Gambit,
with?
which is funny, was a funny joke. Gambit's like, I think I was born here.
Yeah.
Which is a good joke, but X-23 I hold a special place in my heart for because she made. I mean, dude, man, that Logan movie was so lit, man. Like that Logan movie was awesome. Like there couldn't have been a perfect Wolverine movie.
Oh, sure. And I think that's probably why they brought her in was to be the heart piece for Logan.
Right, but then like when she sits there and he tells his story by the fire, I'm just like, no, you don't earn that. This is not the same Wolverine. That wasn't even Wolverine. That was Logan in that movie. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's a different thing altogether.
But I think that's what the idea was, right? Because she had said that you always weren't the first choice.
You were always, yeah. So I'm like, but I don't know,
To
like
say to say that basically, no matter which Logan you think you are, I know that you're the same Logan.
I guess I just wish she wasn't in the movie. I just really not because of her acting, not because of any of that. I just think that her story, her character is top tier, and this movie's junk food. Like so. I just wish she wasn't in it. We did talk about this and just remembered it that Chris Evans gets skinned. That was fun in the middle of the movie, right? Where Cassandra Nova's like just does like thing with her hand real quick and just he gets skin in his eyes blink a
Yeah,
little bit and falls. Love that. I love that he killed Chris Evans. That was a good.
the end credits scene too. Um,
I did not see that, Chris.
oh, I won't spoil that for you then.
I don't know. So then we come back, and then we get again, not to sound like I'm fighting with you, but more nonsense, right? We get okay, the team's getting back together, and we're going to destroy her and Ant-Man, which we didn't talk about this either. What's with Paul Rudd's giant Ant-Man thing as their base? Like, how is okay? You don't know. Okay.
I don't know, a variant that was in there. He's not Ant Man. He's Giant Man. So
Okay.
who
You don't know.
no, yeah, I don't know why he's there housing a bunch of mutants. Maybe it's a giant metaphor for something.
What's the metaphor? He's always been MCU. He's never been Fox.
Yeah, that maybe the smallest MCU character is still bigger than all the Fox characters.
Good. All right.
I
I just said
just pulled that one out of my butt, but at the same part, yeah, who knows why Ant Man or Giant Man is there housing everybody? It's news to me.
it's stupid. It really is stupid. They could have just had a regular base, but they chose that. And then we get the big fight, right?
Did you want more mutants here? Did you want Patrick Stewart in here? He was already in.
I didn't want this story, man.
You want James
Like,
McAvoy? Maybe some Fassbender?
no, I just didn't want this story. I mean, like, I understand what they're doing. I just don't like it.
Okay.
I just wish they told a different story. What that story is, I don't know.
But if that's the case, if you are already dismissing the story, then at what part can't you just buckle up and go along with the jokes? Does it really bother you that bad to where you can't enjoy Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool?
I enjoyed the jokes. I was laughing. I was definitely laughing, right? When they were fighting the Honda Odyssey and Wolverine insulted Deadpool, which you've never seen him that insulted before. And they were just beating each other up in the Honda Odyssey. But the joke was nothing destroys the Odyssey, its economy. It's fun. I mean, I did laugh. I did enjoy it.
Did you like Deadpool getting suited up when he first joined the TVH? Like that little montage there?
With his crotch and butt. I mean, remind me of Batman Forever, right? That's my reference.
Well, it was over and over and over.
Right. No, it's just Eric. I really can't form into words why, because I've been fighting with this because I've seen this a few days ago and I keep on going back. Like, what is it? It's really, really cool that we have Wolverine in this, and it's really cool that we got the blue and yellows, and it's really great to see Hugh Jackman, who said he was never going to do it again. And some of the jokes are fun. I just don't like the story. And Cassandra Nova saying, "Hey guys, since you, by the way, that's awesome. By the way, I will give the movie credit, right? Where Cassandra Nova like puts her fingers through your whole head. That looks like that hurts.
Yeah.
Like that does not look like that's fun.
No, that's a unique ability there. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. And then she's like, "Hey guys, since you saved my life, I'm going to put you back." And they go back to, I'm assuming, Deadpool's 1005 universe, and this is where we get
10,005. It doesn't matter.
10,005, and this is where we get the endless Deadpools,
Yeah,
right? We get Lady Pool and Kid Pool, which are all played by his family.
yeah, a lot of cool stuff
Yeah.
there.
And we were watching, my wife and I enjoyed the fights, right? Just the gory, bloody, like watching all these Deadpools getting destroyed. And then my wife gets smart and she looks at me and goes, doesn't Deadpool regenerate? So this is all for nothing, right? And then sure enough, they all regenerate again. And then we get the gratuitous, like, hey, we need to stop this. So Logan's shirt's going to rip off, which I guess was all Hugh Jackman.
That was all Hugh Jackman. I would have assumed that was a body double.
That was Hugh Jackman.
Oh, all right then. We'll go Hugh.
Right. How do they survive? Because Paradox said that they wouldn't survive, but they did.
Yeah,
Because
I would just assume that because matter and antimatter, they don't mesh well, right? Well, we had talked earlier about how their regenerative powers are different, and I'm assuming that maybe that had something to do with it, and then it killed Nova. Didn't they say that it would kill someone or one person? So um, maybe
they killed Nova.
yeah, exactly. Maybe the answer is in the carefully written dialogue there, but whatever. It's a Deadpool movie, a Deadpool Wolverine movie. They live for whatever reason.
Right. So I do want to go into a popcorn. So this may be a longer one. So please go first. Go first. What is your popcorn rating for Deadpool and Wolverine?
I like this movie a lot. I really did, but I might need to watch it again before I give it a large. On the first watch, I give it a medium. Listen, I enjoyed it very much. I think the story was simple, and it did need to be. I think this was more of an introduction than a movie. I think there was a lot of cameos that I really enjoyed, and it may have taken away from any main story that there would have been. But at the same part, I'm all for it. We're at a point right now where it's expected almost, and I like that they are bringing back old characters and making fun of them for it. It's great to have Elektra there. It's great to have Johnny Storm there. I thought that was fantastic. I really, I
Yeah,
really,
that
really
was
did.
good. That was good.
Yeah, and I really did enjoy it. But um, at the same part, I guess I can agree with you that I don't think this movie is going to maybe have the same effect as it will in 5 years. I think the the bads in this movie were kind of dumb. I think uh, time wise, it's hard to keep track of not just the TVA. I can get on board with that, but to say like, all right, remember this is this universe and this is at this time, and it's these people who are affected. It's like, but you've already explained rules before about universe jumping. You've already explained rules before about what happens with other universes and pruning, and it's so is like Loki watching all of this happen. Then I'm confused about all that, and then they're having to retcon a lot of the Kang stuff as well too. It does get a little confusing in that part, and then there's the plot holes, where I feel like I'm left kind of wondering a lot about that. Again, that sling ring, where she's able to. Uh, Cassandra Nova is able to go from the void into the real world, or that universe is whatever. I would have liked to see more mutants. I think that would have been fun. But we got to see a lot of the old ones too. Got like Pyro and Toad, Juggernaut.
Yeah, that was fun to see Toad.
Yeah, so those were a lot of fun to see all that. We got to see Sabretooth.
Who was played by the original guy who played Supertooth in the first X-Men movie.
Yeah, yeah. Blob was in there too. Yeah. So and I
Who?
think
Blob was in this?
yeah, he was in the background there.
I didn't even notice.
But yeah, listen, a lot of cool ones. I think that's great. I'm all for it. But um, it's you're right. It is tough to make a movie like this with a meaningful story. And I don't know what else I would have wanted, but it did feel to me like this was more of a comedy movie than it was a superhero movie. And I was just explaining to Sarah the other day that superhero movies are now becoming, if not already, their own genre, their own akin to action, horror, romance. It's not a subcategory anymore. I feel like it's dominant enough to say, no, this is its own thing. There are so many movies, there are so many TV shows now, specials that are all for it. Everyone's doing it. Every streaming platform has their own, whether it be The Boys or whether it be that's which Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Or Hulu doing their own with everyone has their own. So it's gets a little lost in the sauce. But listen, I did enjoy this movie. I probably will watch it again when it gets released onto a streaming platform. Um, I would have liked to have seen a bit more. What I'm missing, I think that I would like to have seen is instead of this being a TVA kind of retrieval thing, for maybe there to be another bad that Deadpool has to a TVA bad, maybe like Mr. Paradox, he's trying to do something else, and then have Deadpool try to assemble the X Force again. So you
No.
get the people who are remaining over from Deadpool 2, like Domino or whatever her name was, and maybe that kid too, and try to do X Force because Wolverine was a part of X Force. So to get him in there, and maybe it's a threat to say, oh well, we need to join you because it's a threat to your world, and they're trying to kill your universe or whatever. And so they do an X Force thing. That would be pretty cool. Um, I think maybe that route would have been a bit easier to swallow than just this ragtag comedy, throw them all together and let's have a laugh kind of a thing. I might be asking a little bit too much there, but
Could be.
yeah, again, I feel like they spent a lot of money trying to get the people who were, and that's just what it is. What was the hold on, let's see what the budget for this movie was. I'm sure it was more money I'm ever gonna see. Two
Ugh,
hundred million. That's ridiculous.
it's a lot of money.
That's half of Robert Downey Jr.'s paycheck.
That is half.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's already made its money back on opening weekend.
Right. I mean, like, there gotta be more Deadpool. My if we would have reviewed this the day after I saw this, it was going to be a bag of kernels. I was that angry. I was really angry
Jeez. Okay.
because I just didn't like what they did with the character of Deadpool. I didn't like what they did with the story of overall Deadpool. I feel like they went in the completely wrong direction. So then I went back again and I watched the movie again. And I'm like, okay, clearly my attitude was a little extreme. I can understand that they are putting the middle finger to Fox. It's half of it's buried in the sand, literally in the movie. And they're bringing back the Land of Misfit Toys characters that people kind of loved, or also characters that people wish that they had that they never got. So this was Ryan Reynolds pulling clout to get what he wanted. But then I don't think the movie had a very good story. And when a movie is like this, where I'm not expecting great dramatic acting roles, like I'm not going to this expecting to get a Logan, but I just didn't feel anything for anybody. Like I didn't care because I didn't have that Vanessa struggle to make me want Deadpool to succeed.
Does
You know,
it help or hurt that this is the first movie that's really doing damage control?
it probably that, probably the latter, right? Like it's just doing damage control to fix everything. I just don't like the TVA. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. I don't like the multiverses. I don't like the dimensions. I don't like the timeline thing because then all bets are off and you literally don't have to die. I mean, I'm sure you're telling me that, because the TVA exists, Robert Downey Jr. didn't snap his fingers in one multiverse. Okay.
But
You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I just don't like that.
universe of that had you in it, like that Jordan 500 is dead, but Jordan 600 is still alive.
Right. I just don't like it. That's all. I just don't like it. I feel like it's an easy cop out when they come to writing. Well, Robert Downey Jr. is not dead as Iron Man. He's dead in this universe, but he's not dead in this universe. We can bring him back and put him in this universe. It's just such an easy cop out to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's great that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Mr. Doom. I don't know how they're going to do it. I think it's a very interesting casting choice. Obviously, he's a variant. That's my opinion. But
this allows them to also recast any roles and to say it's a variant. So just like we saw with Henry Cavill doing it right now, it's like, well, we will recast Wolverine as somebody else and just say, oh, they're from a different universe.
it's just the movies are now becoming the comics, and sometimes comics go a little too far. For me, since we're not reviewing this and I had a couple of days of digesting and talking with you, I'm going to give it a small for now. I feel like this could be a second watch movie, maybe for a Movie Guys Awards. Maybe I go back and watch it 6 months from now and see if my opinion changes. It's going up though, right? It went from a bag of kernels to a small. So I did enjoy the jokes. I did enjoy what they were doing. I just didn't like the overall taste. So for me, it's a small.
Okay. Do you like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool?
Yes, of course. Nobody else plays that character better than him, just like Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, right? Like,
okay. Do you like the and you said you liked the Deadpool style jokes, had to break fourth wall and everything, or?
It's completely fine. I think they went a little too Family Guy-ish with this, which I find Family Guy to be annoying. So I just wish they would have.
They didn't do like cutaways, like.
No, but they're there. Deadpool 4, they'll have cutaways. You know what I mean?
I don't think they'll go that far.
They went really far in this one, to where Channing Tatum was Gambit with a New Orleans accent. They brought back Jennifer.
He was originally trying to be Gambit. They axed that project.
They brought back Jennifer Gardner, Eric.
Oh,
they can do anything. They can do anything.
Poor Daredevil.
Just saying, they can do anything.
Yeah. Now that Disney is bought up Fox, they can do whatever they want.
I don't think Disney can buy anything else. I think they're done. There'll be a monopoly at this point if they buy anything else.
We'll see. Their stock is going down.
We'll see. Everybody, thank you so much for listening to this recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. I know you don't go to the website. You know you don't go to the website. You just listen to us on your phone or your tablet, right? So keep on checking us out, Movie Guys Podcast. And next year is going to be a special year because we'll be celebrating something special. So check out for next year. I don't know what I'm doing. But what I'm trying to say is next year is going to be fun. So I'm excited for next year. We're going to celebrate. Yeah, there we go. But Eric, thank you much for joining me. And we'll be back next Thursday, like always, for another awesome episode. Have a good night.
Yep. Do you feel like we should see more Gungans in the Star Wars universe?
I mean, we haven't seen them. Are you snacking on a fruit bar?
Yeah, my little dessert Nutri-Grain here. Don't mind me. Don't dodge that question.
No, I'm not dodging. Those are delicious. I steal them from Riley all the time. No, yeah, they're the alien race that we see once and we never see again, right?
Yeah, listen, we've seen more Wookiees in the universe. We've seen more Yodas, whatever the hell those things are now.
We haven't gone back to Naboo.
We've seen more Akbars.
True. But right, though, we have not gone back to Naboo.
So, yeah, you're telling me that these Gungans are trapped on Naboo? They don't travel the galaxy?
Right, you're telling me that Darth Vader didn't go back to Naboo and where's Jar Jar?
Yeah.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
this dude screwed everything up.
Yeah, where's this guy at? No, he doesn't do that because he's afraid of the guy. You know how it sounds on a motorboat.
That's exactly what it is. And we've seen more Jabbas. We've seen more Wattos. We've seen even another Sebulba.
Yes,
Okay.
there has been another Sebulba. You're right, 100%.
So, Lucasfilms, if you're hearing this,
Big fan.
I want to see a few more Gungans. Okay, listen, I saw that. What's that new series that they have? Apostle or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm only gonna watch the last episode because I guess it has Darth no, what's his name? The Darth blah blah blah. Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis is in it for like 2 seconds.
The Wise.
Yeah, he's in it.
Yeah, listen. Apparently, I've heard from that show that they had a writer who had never seen any of the Star Wars franchise, and so you can get that, but you can't get some more Jar Jar action on here. I want to see some of that.